Joker. Um, I just want to make this video because I see a lot of people making these videos and like on TikTok and many other uh websites about what's going on. With people losing their jobs, people cannot get housing. Housing is high, rent is high. People are trying to get help. And I was just watching this video when this girl was sitting up there complaining about disability, saying she got denied. The thing about disability, because I'm on disability, because of major health problems that I had for years. See me, I've been trying to get my disability for over 10 years. So 10 years is a very long time of being denied. Um, I didn't know anything about getting a lawyer. Um, and somebody told me before that I should get a lawyer, but I thought you would have to pay the lawyer. Me, I was naive, and I wasn't thinking straight. I was going through a lot of issues and problems, not just with my health, but with other things. It blew my mind that I got denied 10 times. Everybody told me to keep pushing, don't stop. They do this to everybody. Well, I'm thinking it's just me. I didn't um, work hard enough, or because I didn't have a lot of jobs, and they were probably using that against me. And me being young at that time, and me being a little bit fit, but they couldn't see it, you know. But they used their doctors to check up on you to see if you can get, disability. But that's the reason for the system, is to deny you, because they even deny people that are over 60, 70, or 80 years old. My mother got denied plenty of times for disability until she got a lawyer. And my mother had lupus and many other diseases and that she was going through at the time, and she got denied a lot. I think my father got denied too, but my dad was a former military, so he had to get the VA, but he also tried to, he got denied disability too, but he ended up getting VA, so he didn't really need disability. Um, and once you go through the process of getting disability, which is very, very long, it could take you up to 2 years, maybe a year if your lawyer can speed it up. I had great lawyers to help me get mine, and when I got my disability, yes, it made me smile because you know you know not working at that time, and having nowhere to go. But I ended up staying with a friend. He helped me out big time. Without him, I don't think I would never got my disability. Um, he did the heavy work for me because me, I wasn't really in the right state of mind at the time because I'm bipolar depressive. So I'm on medication for that. So he helped me out. I mean, once I got it, it made me understand why it's so hard to get money. And it's not because of us as, people that are out there working every day. They have control of our money, dog. Like, even when I was working and I was getting my checks, and I'm looking at my checks like, God damn, where all my money go? Where does this money go? Like, what are they doing with the money once they take all this money out of our checks? And I'm thinking, oh yeah, I forgot they're building prisons. Oh yeah, I forgot they're building these football stadiums and these basketball stadiums. Oh, I'm right. They're sending money overseas to help fight other wars with other countries. And, this is what they're doing with our money. I mean, they got a treasury that they have all the money in, and it's like trillions and trillions beyond trillions of dollars that are in these treasuries, and they keep, hitting from us, because I heard Donald Trump just found out there was so much money hidden from uh, the people, which they're not going to give to us anyway, that they've been hiding from us, and it's like trillions and trillions beyond trillions of dollars, and it's our money, and they control it. So we have nothing to say about it. We can, you know, if we want our tax returns, we have to wait. But when they want the money for the taxes, they'll come after us, you know. Or if they do the PPP loans and all this other kind of stuff to set us up to, you know, knowing that we need money. And I know people steal and, you know, people scam. That's been going on for a very long time. You can't stop people from doing that. But they know we need money, and they know that we need it to live a lifestyle that we can be happy with, you know, so we don't have to be struggling, like, you know, to buy food, pay our rent, pay our bills, to pay our car insurance, and all the other kind of stuff, to pay for our kids to go to school. Because, you know, we got our kids are the most expensive thing to us is our kids. Because once we have a child, we know we got to put all our money into that kid until it's 18. And kids are so expensive. That's why I said, oh, I'm only lucky I only had one, and my daughter's 21. So my daughter's in college. So, and I can see what my daughter's going to go through in the future, because everything is going to get harder and harder and harder for her. Because, you know, unless she stay with her mother, and which I think she's going to do, I don't think she's ever going to leave her mom um, house, because she knows the future is not going to be, you know, really good for her, especially looking for money and trying to get a job, especially what she's doing, you know, what she took up in school. I know it's going to be hard for her to find a job. So, I mean, I don't care if you got your master's, I don't care if you got your associates, I don't care if you got all these degrees, it doesn't matter. The employment is so hard now to try to get a job. People be saying they be putting in thousands of applications. People be having thousands of interviews, and they'll probably get probably something out of that the interviews, but it never will turn up the money that they want. Because I always believe this generation wants money. I mean, wants money. I really don't believe that it's because of, you know, the apartments are high, money, you know, for food is high. That's been like that for a very long time. Even when I was young, so I was born in 1976. I'm 49 years old. So I lived through the 80s, and I was adult in the 90s, but I seen it all that what my mom went through to work two jobs, you know, and struggle raising two kids. And even everything was a lot lower, but you still didn't get paid the money that you worked for. You know, you still was taking taxes out of your checks, even though a lot of my family and many other families of you know, the baby boomer era, or even you know, they owned their own, they owned their own houses, they owned their own cars, because it was passed down through generations. You know, they had a house that their mother had, it was passed down to them, and then it will pass it down to the next generation. Um, See, it was kind of hard because my mother passed away when my grandma gave her house to my uncle. So my mother could have owned the house if she really wanted to, but she passed away before she even got a chance to even, you know, to take the house, you know, even though it was all paid for. But it's not the fact that everything is so hard. It's just that, you know, a lot of people got to understand this has been going on for a very, very long time. It's not just started, you know, in 2020. You know, I know it gotten worse in 2020 because everybody started losing their jobs because of the pandemic. People couldn't find work. Everybody was getting in super kitchen lines. People started doing smash and grab and stealing and scamming and doing all that in 2020 because the government was only giving us $1,200, and the $1,200 didn't even last that long because they were trying to force people to go back to work. You know, that people didn't even have jobs, and they were trying to force people to find jobs, you know, but nobody could find jobs because all the small businesses that people want to try to go and work for, because a lot of people wanted to work for the small businesses. People didn't want to work for Amazon. People didn't want to work for the big companies because they'll know those are the businesses that will work you like a fucking dog just to make $15 an hour. Because I know everybody's talking about McDonald's. I know they're gonna work you to death. Because the more money you make, the more they're gonna work you. You know what I mean? They're gonna put you like in a sweat camp. Because they say, oh, you want to make a lot more money? Okay, let's come over here then, and let's see how much money. Let's see if you really want to make money like that. So they're gonna work you to death to make a little bit of money. I mean, make the money that you said that you wanted, and you want to live this certain type of lifestyle, or you want this apartment, or you want this car, or you want to get your children some nice clothes, put them in a nice school, they're going to work you to fuck to death. They're going to make you work a long hours. They're going to make you fucking come in early. You know, they're going to make sure that you don't take no vacation time, because the more money you make, they can take away your vacation time. The more money you make, they can take away your sick days. The more money you make, they can make you work more than 40 hours. They can make you work more than that. And you can't complain because that check look good every 2 weeks. You can pay your bills with it. You can, do what you want to do with it, but you're gonna have to work a lot harder to keep that lifestyle. You know what I mean? Just like the rich. The rich gotta keep on, making more and more money to keep that lifestyle. Like, they can go bankrupt at any time. They can lose everything at any time. So the only way they can make a lot more money is make their employees work a lot harder, or probably give them a little bit more money, but they know they're going to get that money back anyway. We're not going to get that money back. Even through our taxes, we're not going to get that money back. All that money that we worked hard for is not going to come back to us. So you want to make a lot more money, just remember what these employers can do to you now, since you want to make like 40, 50, $60 an hour, or you want to make $100,000, you want to make $100,000 K money, you know they're going to be working your ass off. You know that you won't be able to retire, because now they're going to try to make people work retire until they're 70. You know what I mean? So people are happy that other people are losing things. That's the funny thing. People say, "Oh, I'm happy that people are losing their food stamps. I'm happy that people are losing their disability or their social security." Why are you happy that people that need that lose it, but it's going to be hard for y'all to get it if y'all need it? Because you're going to need disability too. You're going to need your social security too. You're going to need your pension. You're going to need that money after you retire, or if you get injured or hurt, you're going to have to get disability. You know what I mean? You can't just sit there and rely on your unemployment, because your unemployment ain't going to give you that much motherfucking money. You people know that already. I mean, people say it's oh, they don't want to work. I'm like, okay, yeah, you don't want to work, but I'm gonna tell you something, right? If I didn't have be sick and shit, which I hate being sick, it's the one thing people think is because you get some money and you sit at home, I don't want to be fucking sick. Why do people think that people want to be sick? I don't want to be sick, man. It's horrible waking up every morning feeling the same way you did yesterday, and you can't get rid of the shit that's going on in your body. You go to these doctors, you go to these appointments, you sit up in a hospital all day, you go to the emergency room, you call an ambulance, you got all these things going on with you. You get these x-rays, you get these MRIs, but your doctor's telling you that you gotta take a whole bunch of motherfucking pills, knowing that it's fucking nerve-wracking that these pills will make you even more sicker. You know what I mean? And then you gotta depend on people. And it's hard to depend on people too, because some people just don't want to help anybody because they going through shit, and you don't even want to ask for help, because if you ask for help, it seems like you're taking away, what people are going through. Like me, I don't like asking for help. You know what I mean? I don't. I just don't like asking for help. But I do sometimes, because I can't do things by myself, because sometimes I'm sick, so sick that I need help. You know what I mean? I could get a nurse, but my apartment is so fucking small. Why would I fucking have a nurse here for? You know what I mean? And she's only 2 feet away from me. It's like I'm like over somewhere else in a bed somewhere. Like she could probably like be 2 feet away from me. Like I don't need no nurse right now. But the thing about it is that money is so hard to get, because the government controls our money. That's our money that they keep in their vaults. And they know they don't have to give it to us if they don't want to. And even these employers don't care, because they don't care that you're struggling and you're suffering. Now we're begging for the unemployment rate to go higher to 15. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm trying to tell you, everything's going to be raised even higher if they raise the minimum wage. Taxes going to be higher, houses going to be higher, way of life is going to be higher, just to get a little bit more money. And then people say they don't want to work. So how are you going to keep the economy? How are you going to keep the economy good by you not working, and you can't buy stuff that you need to survive? Like you, it doesn't make any sense. Like everybody's mad, but nobody's doing anything about it. People are making videos and they're angry when they make these videos, but they know what's really going on in the government? Why the government is doing this? Because, like I said, the rich is taken away from the poor. This is like I said. This is like Rome. Rome did the same thing to their people. Yeah, I mean, every country around the world in the past did it to their people, and we're going through the same thing. And like I said, it didn't just happen. It just didn't happen in 2020. This been going on for decades. But everybody knew everything was going to get fucking high. Everybody knew that everything wasn't going to stay the same. Rent is going to be high. Mortgages was going to be high. Car loans, buying a car was going to be high. Car loans was going to be high. Everything was going to be high. Taxes on the land was going to be high. Everything was going to be high in the future. Now the next generation is going to have to deal with this generation is dealing with. Probably might be far, far worse, or it might be better. We don't know. Like I said before, we got a lot of idiots running this country. All they care about is giving the rich what they need and giving the poor what they don't need. And which is what we need is money, but they know that we need the money. So what they do is they put the money on the motherfucking string and they throw it at us and they drag it on the ground and they watch us chase it and they laugh at us. That's what they fucking do. They've been doing this for a very, very long time and they're not going to stop doing that. We complain about everybody else. Oh, how are they doing it? How are they making money? Don't worry about how they make money. You know what I mean? Because they're making money, some type of way you might not want to do that shit. People are going through some harsh methods to make money. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to tell people want the white faces, which we're still slaves to the slave masters that's on the dollar bills. This is what we have. I told you, this is what it is. We are slaves. People don't want to believe me. We're slaves, man. We're slaves to this country. We always been slaves to this country. We never will ever have the shackles taken off of us. I don't care what color you are. We're slaves. We work on a big ass plantation, which is called the United States of America. Every country around the world is a big ass plantation. You know what I mean? And they got the rich. Like I said, they're the Greek gods. They're looking down. You remember how you used to watch the movies and you see the Greek gods in heaven and they're looking down on the little people on earth? That's what they're doing to us, man. Them rich motherfuckers are sitting up there laughing at us and they know that we need money. Like I said, they put it on a string, they throw it at us and drag it on the ground, and we go chasing after it because we're still slaves. We never change. Our answer, yeah, my mom's mom, and my mom's mom, my grandma's mom. I mean, they didn't do that much, but the men, yes, they worked, but they really didn't work for anything either. Just look at the past of how much money they made, the baby boomers made in the past, than what people are making today. People say, "Oh yeah, they worked hard." Yes, they did. They worked hard for nothing. To this generation, they're doing the same thing, but the thing that we're doing is we're begging for them to give us more. But they know if we keep begging, giving us, that's what they want us to keep on doing. They want us to keep begging to give us more so they can give us more to make us work more harder. And you probably won't retire until the age of 100 years old. And even if you do retire, you're not going to live that long because you might live like 3 or 4 years after you retire because all your body is used to working and making money. And now you're on a pension and now you're on social security or disability or whatever money that you get from your job, that you worked hard for, which you're not going to get that much. I mean, unless you save money in a bank and you save that money up, like you say, like 600,000 for yourself, but you won't be able to spend that money like you want to because you won't live long to spend that money. Then your grandkids will have to take over that money. Unless you leave a house for them. If they don't pay for that house, the house is going to be taken away from them. So your family can't ever live. They don't want you to live a perfect life. Even in the past, our grandmothers, our baby boomer grandmothers, and our baby boomer grandfathers, they were like the next generation, a couple of generations is going to struggle like a motherfucker because everything is going to get expensive. And even they were trying to tell us, look, watch yourselves, man. Everything's going to get expensive in the 2000s. We didn't listen to them. Like I said before, my generation didn't listen. The millennials didn't listen. And this generation, whatever it is, Jason, Generation Z, WXYZ, they don't fucking listen. But now you see us begging. We're begging. We having our hand out. Can you please give us this? Why can't we have this? I don't want to work no more. But you can't even own your own business because owning your own business is expensive. You gotta buy a where you gotta rent out whatever you're gonna use your business. You gotta buy the land. You know, you gotta do all these things to get this business started. Then you gotta get employees. Then you gotta make sure your employees are happy with the money they making so they can help you keep your business running. And you gotta pay them like if they want to get 17, 18, $19 an hour, hoping your business is big enough to hold that much money for you to pay them every 2 weeks or every week. So they out there want these kids today, they want more money. They don't want to be making like $10 an hour, like $9. Like we used to work in the past, we used to make like $8, $9 an hour. We were lucky to make even $10 an hour. And then now around this time, when you get a chance to make 15, 16, $17 an hour, we want more. So we want more, you're gonna work more, you're gonna work harder. Now, don't you? Oh, you want to have off? No, you can't have off this week. You can't have off this weekend. You gotta come in and work. You make a 30 fucking fuck. You make a 30 to $60 an hour. You think they're gonna fucking want you to have a vacation? They want you to think you taking sick days. No, you. I don't care if you got. I don't care if you got COVID. You need to come in with a mask or one of the masks you can put over your fucking head. You know the ones that they used during World War II. You need to put one of them motherfuckers and wear a whole hazmat suit and come into work today. And you better do your fucking 8 hours. Or matter of fact, you better do some overtime. They don't care, man. We want all this money. We want to live in nice apartments. We want to live in a better situation. We're gonna have to work for it. That's what they're telling us. Regardless of its social security, disability, it ain't easy. They don't make nothing fucking easy for anybody. You could be 90 years old trying to get your disability. They will make you say, they'll say, no, you can still work. And yet you're 90 years old. You can't even get out of a wheelchair. You can't even fucking walk. You can't even fucking move your hands. Oh, you got enough to blink your eyes and they got computers now. You can blink your eyes and you can type things on a computer. She can work and do that. It's crazy how they're doing things. They're making, listen, you better hope AI doesn't become a thing that's going to take over the human being for working and it's going to make us be homeless. There's a lot of people that are becoming homeless now just because they feel like I might as well become homeless, live in my car, and just go to work and just, try to make myself, you know, try to make myself some money through that. Because people are not even living in apartments anymore. People living in their fucking cars. People are fucking, people are living on the street, but they're trying to own their own wealth. There's people that are homeless that actually are wealthy, but you'll never know because you'll think they're homeless. There's people out there that got a lot of money that are homeless, that are self wealthy, and because they don't live in a house, they live in their car, they probably go to work, and you probably wouldn't even know they're homeless because they probably keep themselves clean because they probably go to a shower, they probably keep themselves clean. When they go to work, they could be dressed fly, like God damn, you look nice. Oh, thank you. So what you doing this weekend? Oh, nothing. I'm gonna be home. But they're gonna be in a fucking car because you know what? They rather save money by not worrying about bills and shit than wasting their time. Now they'll probably do it if they're single or their kid. They don't have their kids are a lot older, so they don't have to worry about their kids living with them while they're homeless. So a lot of them just leave their job, leave their homes behind and live in a car. Like they'll get a van, they'll get a truck, and they'll just make it into a house. You know what I mean? And that's what they do nowadays because they're trying to make self wealth now. Because like I said, there's a lot of homeless people that be going in them banks and they be out there putting their money in their banks after they work or after they panhandle. Some of these motherfucking homeless people be panhandling all motherfucking day, and they take all their money and they take it to a bank and they put it in the bank and they make up their own savings, so they can stay like in a hotel or motel because they're smart. They don't complain. You ever notice the homeless people don't even complain? Homeless people don't complain about nothing. They don't have nothing, so they don't complain about nothing. And even if they do have something, you'll never know because they don't want to. They don't want you to know everything about what they got. Us that already have stuff, we complain more than homeless people don't complain at all, but we complain Like we're homeless. Like we need handouts. You know what I mean? And we're the ones that's supposed to be working every day, making money every day to pay bills and everything. You got homeless people that don't say shit. All they do is hand their hand out and ask you for a couple of dollars, and they'll get a couple of dollars and put it right in the bank. And once they put that money in the bank, they good. Because they know they can go to the bank, get money out, and they can go and do whatever they want with it. But we sit up there talking about we're losing money. Homeless people's getting money and putting it away and saving it. And like I said, you got a lot of people that are leaving their homes and their apartments and living in their car and working in their car. Like they probably work at home in their car, and just nobody will know they're even homeless, because they look like regular people. And the funny thing about it is that us as Americans, we don't like competing for shit. We don't like competing with other countries. Now, other countries are worse than probably far worse than us. You know what I mean? Because we complain about. Let's see. Honestly, during the pandemic, a lot of other countries was getting more in stimulus than we were, and we hated it. We were complaining about why is other countries getting more money than us through stimulus. I told people before, our government is the one that controls our money. We don't control our money. Once we put our money in the bank, it's controlled by the bank. We don't control our money. Once we put that money in a bank account, and once we put that money in them banks like PNC, Citizens Bank, Chase Bank, they control our money, dog. They're the ones that tell us, "Oh, we can give you this much money. What do you need a loan?" We're the ones that could go to the joint and get a loan, but they control how much we get from that loan. Because if we don't got enough to get a loan, then we got to give up assets, which we don't have to give up any type of assets to get a loan. You know what I mean? A high loan to open up a business. Them motherfuckers control our money, though. They have their hands on our money that we worked hard for. They are the ones that do everything with the money. We can't do a goddamn thing with the money. Once it goes to the bank, we can take a couple of dollars out. That's it. But they control our money. The government controls the money. The food stamps are controlled by the government. I mean, if they want to cut it, they cut it. I mean, if they want you to go and get a job, they're going to force you to get a job because they already know the people that can and cannot work. They know that already. But the thing about it is that they know people are getting to that point of becoming so lazy that they gotta make people go to work. I mean, because they can't, because they know that the only way that this country is going to be run to make money, in the economy is when people work and buy shit. But see, people don't want to work, but we want money for free. And you know they're not going to give us our money. You know they're not going to give us our money for free. The only reason why Donald Trump is telling he's going to give $6,000 to every fucking body because he wants people to like him. And once he gets that $6,000, that $6,000 has got to be go to the economy. That's what that $6,000 is going to go to, is to the economy. Because Trump is going to tell you to spend the money on buying shit. You're not going to be able to keep that much money in your account, or they'll take your account and close it, or they'll take your check. You know what I mean? Like I said before, this is what they do. They give us our money, and we think it's free money. It's our money. It's not the government's money. The government don't have no fucking money. The money you work for every day that you go to work 40 hours or whatever hours you work, that money's taken out of your taxes. It goes right into a fucking treasury. That's your fucking money that they give back to you during your taxes, which they should be giving you all that motherfucking money back that they took out your taxes, but they don't have to. They can give you like $3 if they want to. Or they can add up some bullshit and say, "Oh, well, you owe, so we're going to take all your money." How you going to take all my money? That's my money. How do I owe? How do I owe? That's my money. That's the money I worked hard for. You can't take the money that's mine, but they can. That's why people be bitching, complaining, "Oh my God, look at my taxes. Why is it so low?" Because they're taking your money and they're taking it right in front of your fucking face. And they don't care. They tell you that it's American money. They tell you. They be like, "Oh, well, look at Social Security. Social Security is from my taxes. What is so look at people be sitting there, oh my God, people are getting disability." I said, yes, the disability is from, really honestly, the money that I got, I'm getting from my motherfucking taxes that they pulled out my taxes. They pulled that money out my taxes, so that's the reason why I got a chance to get disability, because I really wasn't going to get it, but they seen it out worked and they took that money and gave it to me. Yes, everybody knows disability and everything else is paid through taxpayers' money. Yes, not everything's paid through taxpayers' money, but you got to understand what is our money. This country is our country. This country is our country. It's not the government's country. It's our country. But they'll tell you, oh well, you got to help the country be stable by buying stuff, supporting it. No, you got people going out there stealing money. You got people scamming. You got people doing smash and grabs to try to survive, man. Because there's no money. You got all these rich people with all this money, and they're laughing at us. You know what I mean? Because we're giving them our money to buy shit. We don't try to take some money, put it on the side, take it out of the bank, put it on the side, hoping that we could keep that money hidden from us. You know what I mean? And hoping that we remember where the money is, so we can tell our kids, well, I got some money over here. Keep saving that money up. So, but no, we don't do that. You know what I mean? Hey, I did, but the thing is, that's what you should do, because the government is never going to give us what they owe us. The government owes us a lot of motherfucking money. They owe the citizens a lot of money, but they don't want to give. And on top of that, they got gold. They can give a bar of gold to each person in this country and we could be wealthy, but they don't want to. What is it like to have a whole country wealthy and you got no control? You have no power because you gotta make the poor or the middle class, you gotta have control over them. And I always believe money is going to always control the masses of the poor and the middle class, because we always need it. That's why I always call it the devil's dollar. And I call them whiteface. You know how they used to blackface black people during Jim Crow? But I always say that the white faces are on the motherfucking dollar bill. You know what I mean? It's never ever going to be a black face on a dollar bill. So we need these white faces to survive through buying food, toiletries, but it's really not, the money is not actually valuable. It's only valuable to us because we needed to pay bills. But we can't melt it down and reuse it or build it, what I mean? We can't do anything with dollar bills. One thing we can do is burn it. You know what I mean? But the thing about it is you got gold out there, which they can give us, but they don't want to give us gold. They know that if they give us gold, we're rich. They'll give us gold, platinum, anything that they have that is worth a lot. They're not going to give it to us. They're always going to keep us in giving us less money. Because paper money is really not even valuable. That's why a lot of these rich people don't have paper money. They always have they always use assets to buy things, which us people don't have. We don't have assets to buy things. That's why Jay-Z can buy a fucking mansion just with assets, and not spend not $1 on a house. We spend money on a house. We spend money on a house. We try to use credit to buy every fucking thing, knowing that we're going to be in debt. That's why the credit card was invented. The credit card was invented to keep people in debt. So when people always will have clean credit until they use their credit card. And people say, well, I use the credit card to keep my debt good. No, it doesn't work like that. They know that you're going to overspend. They know that you're going to miss a payment. They know these things. That's why they create these things. But they know you're dumb enough to use it when you don't need it. You know what I mean? Because I need to use my credit to buy this. I'm like, why are you using your credit to buy a house for? Like, see, one thing about us, we don't have no assets. That's why we have credit. They gave us credit, but we don't have an asset. If we had assets like paintings, say we had a Mona Lisa. Say we had the Mona Lisa painting, right? The Mona Lisa painting is an asset. Mona Lisa painting is probably worth $1 billion right now. Right? We could use the Mona Lisa painting, or let's take a Mercedes, not Mercedes. Take a Bentley. Let's take a 2000. Let's take a 2025 Bentley, right? We could use that as an asset if we really needed to buy something, because that asset will be used for us to, okay, we could use the car to put it in to buy a nice ass house, even though I wouldn't even use a Bentley to do that, but I'm just using it as a option. We get a Bentley, we use that for an asset, and next thing you know, we can get whatever we want from that Bentley. But the thing about it is, people are spending money on, like I said, we spend money on the dumbest shit. That's the reason why we're broke. It has. I be like thinking half the time, like, people can't pay their rent. Dang, that's weird. I was like, so before they get paid, what do they do with their money that week? They said, well, they pay bills. Well, if your bills is so high, why don't you put your money away for rent first, then pay your bill? Because your rent is going to be the most expensive out of everything else that you pay on bills, unless you are unless you're getting these expensive bills by you getting all these different types of, like you don't get no cheap Wi-Fi. You get the most expensive Wi-Fi. You you buying all these damn video games, and you're on YouTube all the time, and you trying to make yourself big and famous. So you buying all this shit so you could use for your YouTube or your TikTok. Things cost money, so all that money is going to accumulate throughout that whole week until you get paid again. And that month, I'm like, what happened to the whole month? You don't put your money aside as you got to pay rent. Don't you want to put your money? Don't you want to put that month of rent away so you don't have to worry about it to the end of the month? Or when you pay your bills, you pay your bills. You know, you pay. You don't have to pay your bill like like people are like, oh, I gotta pay my bills on time. They give you they give you a couple of weeks to pay your rent and pay your bills. Like, they don't want to pay your bill as soon as possible. I mean, because they threaten you by turning your phone off, or you could pay your phone bill anytime, right? Even if your phone gets shut the fuck off, you could still pay your phone bill. Even if your internet gets shut off, you still can pay. People say, well, it's a fee. I'd rather pay the fee than motherfucking, get mad and get pissed off that my cable gets turned the fuck off. People actually get mad because their cable gets turned off. People actually get mad because their cell phone gets turned off. People actually get mad when they get things turned off. If you pay it, you get it turned right the fuck back on, right? I mean, people be like having their phone bill for 2 months. Don't pay their bill for 2 months, get their phone bill turned on, act like nothing even fucking happened. The rent and the mortgage are the two most important things for you to pay for, because you need a place to fucking stay. Your phone bill, your cell phone bill, your internet bill, your gaming bill, whatever, is not that much important than anything else where you stay and where you live. Maybe your car, but people have to pay their car because it's taken away. But you could actually get your car taken away and still buy another car. You probably could buy a cheaper car. But people be buying these expensive ass fucking cars and trucks. Like, people know that once your bills, really, honestly, people wants to keep the stuff on because I know they got kids, that kind of stuff. They like watching movies. They like being on YouTube. They like being on TikTok. They like being on these social media apps. So they try to keep their phone on. So once oh, my friends are going, who call? Like, I don't even see people use their phone that much. People don't call people that much. People don't even use their phone. People text more than they even make phone calls. People say my email. Your email's not going anywhere. Your email doesn't even do anything. It takes probably a year before your email actually erases your old emails. You can have a million emails, you know what I mean? And you have a large bulk, and they still won't delete that shit. And people worried about the emails. Your phone could get turned off for 3 months, and it will get it turned back on. And the phone would you probably have to pay a fee, like I said before. Okay, you got to pay a fee. So the fuck what? See, when you got that motherfucking mortgage, them motherfuckers don't give a fuck. You got a rent. They want their money. And you want a place to stay, or you want to have cable? You want a place to stay, or you want internet? You want a place to stay, or you want to keep your phone fuck on? People worry about the littlest small things that really, honestly, that's not a bigger thing than you still having a place to stay, right? My boy told me that. Why are you worried about your cell phone, dog? If it's turned off, okay, well, pay it in a few weeks or something. Well, nobody calls you, nobody texts you, nobody important call you. Now you probably get you could check. I mean, even if your phone gets turned back on, what you gonna one thing you're gonna get is doctor's appointments. That's all you're gonna get is doctor's appointment. What do you need the internet for? What, why are you complaining about the internet for? I mean, you can go anywhere in a fucking city and use the internet. I mean, you can go to fucking anywhere to fucking use the internet. You gotta stay home to use the internet. I mean, like people really thinking that that's more important than a place to stay. People are just like complaining about they oh, I gotta pay food, yeah, and also paying for food. People gotta understand food's important. So are you not putting no money in to buy food? Well, everybody buys a whole bunch of shit that they don't need, or they go to these expensive supermarkets, you know what I mean, and buy the most expensive food because they say they're trying to be healthy, which none of this food is fucking healthy. But people thinking, oh well, if I buy some cultured apples or I buy some cultured chicken legs, I'll be healthy. Even though it's like $3, but cultured food don't last that fucking long. So you gotta eat that motherfucker as soon as you buy it. Because if you look at the label of the expiring date, when you buy kosher shit, you gotta eat that shit within a fucking day. Cause cultured food is fucking it go bad fast. Cause it has nothing in that food to protect it from getting bad. Like you could buy a pack of chicken for $6 to $8. Yeah, I bet you that chicken will last you for a couple of weeks or a month. You buy that cultured chicken, that chicken be bad. And I bought cultured chicken before. I'm like, yo, why does the fucking chicken go bad so fucking fast? Why does the cultured food go bad so fast? You gotta eat that shit. But you seeing people wanting food stamps. That's why they people honestly, I rather people have food stamps to buy food than buy food with money because you're saving. But the government is not going to try to give people food stamps because they feel like, why are we giving these people food stamps and they can give us money? Cause that's why Trump wanted to cut food stamps because I believe he wants to cut food stamps because he wants people to buy food with money. He's probably kind of cut off people that are probably disabled too. He don't care. He don't care if you're disabled. He don't care if you got, you get food stamps just because you're getting them because you need to survive. They don't care. Them food stamps are your food stamps. That's your taxpayer money. You should be able to get food stamps. People that are working should be able to get food stamps because they can save them money to pay off all their other bills and save money. Then you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. But that's the way it is, man. It's hard, man. It is really hard, man. I mean, even being on disability is hard as shit, dog. People thinking, oh, he on disability, yeah, he got it easy. No, are you fucking serious? No, it's not, dog. It's not easy. You got to be very cautious the way you spend your money. And when you put your money, and you don't want to keep your money in the bank because you don't know if they're gonna take your fucking money. You got thieves everywhere that's gonna still try to. You got thieves and scammers everywhere that be up there putting that thing on that fucking machine that could take your money out your pocket. People gotta understand, man. Like the government is very hard on people that are on disability too, man. We don't have it easy. It's because oh he stays at home or she stays at home. That's what they fucking want you to fucking do. They oh you sick? Yeah, you gotta stay your ass home then because if you don't, we're gonna take your shit from you. You know it's cautious when you walk when you're on disability. You gotta be very cautious because they fucking watch you. They watch you. They got people out here watching people that are on disability to make sure they're disabled, dog. Not to do the slightest thing so they could take the money from you. Because they want to take it from you. You know what I mean? You can't do nothing. You can't walk down the street. You can't be up there jogging. You can't even have yourself a basketball in your hand. You can't have a golf ball cart. You can't be riding up a golf cart. They don't care that they even see you doing something that you lift up a rock or something off or a pebble off the ground. Oh, that motherfucker can work. You see him pick that pebble off the you see him pick that pebble off the ground? You see him bend down like that? Yeah, okay, we're gonna make this motherfucker work. Take his money. People think disability is something that we just so get excited for, man. You know how hard it is to get that motherfucker? My God, man. I'm glad I did that shit early. Like when I first got my first heart surgery. And when I got my other seven, it was still hard. You know what I mean? I went to court. I don't believe I never been to court in my life. I walked in that courtroom nervous as fuck. I seen a judge for the first time. I never been in front of a judge. I never had an agenda, whatever fucking call them people sitting right next to me. I had no paper. I had all this paper. Excuse me. I had all this paperwork that they didn't give a fuck about. I barely said anything. I said like 3 words because I was so fucking nervous. I was a pee on my fucking self because I thought I was going to court for something the fuck else. And then I came out and I was talking to my ex. He said, "Yo, did your lawyer come in there?" I had to lie because I didn't have no fucking lawyer. And my boy, rest in peace, told me, "Yo, man, next time you go, get a fucking lawyer." But I got in a job and I was working for 5 years, doing hard labor and shit, which I shouldn't have been doing, but I love my job that fucking much. I love doing hard labor work when I was working back then. I love labor jobs. But the thing about it is that my job forced me to have heart surgery again. That was my seventh surgery. That was my last surgery I just had. So once I got my last surgery, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna try this lawyer thing. My boy got me a lawyer. I thought I wasn't even going to get it when I got a lawyer. I'm like, damn, I ain't getting this shit. This shit is outrageous, man. They ain't gonna give me my disability. They were like, well, all right. I went to their doctors. I got denied though, but the lawyer said, don't worry about it. They always gonna deny you the first time. I got denied 10 times. What are you talking about? I got denied 10 times. She's like, no, they're gonna deny you even when you have a lawyer. So we're gonna do the case again. So they did my case again. It was like a year, almost a whole fucking year. I was like getting no letters. I was getting no phone calls. I was bitching and complaining to my boy. My boy said, "Stop bitching, dog. You gonna just relax. You gotta be patient, man. It's like a real case. Like when you trying to get money from a case, they're gonna do this shit to you." I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be patient and shit. You know what I mean? I was chilling with my boy. My boy let me live there. I mean, I was all good. Next thing you know, he didn't tell me at first. And I'm like, I got something to tell you. I'm like, oh, I was like, oh, they denied me again. Oh my God. He said, yo, I got the paper. You got approved. I'm like, yo, like, yo, I sat there and I fucking mentally broke down because this been 10 years, dog. 10 years. It's like some people could get it on the spot, you know what I mean? And some people never get that shit. And when you get it, you're shocked like, God damn, I never thought that I will ever be getting money from the government, which I worked so hard to get for 10 years, working, getting kicked out of my sister house, being homeless, you know, being sick, being in the hospitals, being in a mental institution, dealing with all this stuff with my mental status of me, wanting to hurt myself, all that other kind of stuff. That weighed on me. And it was weighing on me even more because it was putting more pressure on me because of the damn, what if I don't get it? I'm gonna have to leave my boy house. I'm not gonna stay here and try to live with under his roof. You know what I mean? Even though he was like, listen, dog, just be patient. And I'm not a patient person. But when I got that motherfucking check, I was like surprised. Like, and I had to make sure he's not playing with me. He said, don't worry about it. Your money's in your account. Don't worry about it. And I was so fucking happy, not because of me getting the money. It was something that I could start all over again. Cause it's hard, dog. And once you look at that money, you be like, God, this ain't shit. This ain't shit. But the thing about it is, it's something. Because shit, they should never, they could never gave it to me if they didn't want to. I mean, I always tell people, man, stop hating on everybody the fuck else. Stop being mean to everybody the fuck else, and stop thinking just because that person is getting something, you need to talk down to that person because you thinking they getting it for free. Man, like I said before, it's hard to get what you want, dog. Nothing's for fucking free in this world. Nothing's for free. And when you fucking work hard every day, even if you go and get that check, they're looking at you like, oh, this motherfucker ain't, this motherfucker gonna be working for us this fucking life. Because that's what jobs really think. The employers really believe in like, this motherfucker gonna work for us for the rest of their life until you get another job that's better, that's making more money. Then you leave, then they be like, damn, all right, well, whatever. But like I said before, people can't sit up there and just, I mean, think everything is easy, dog. It's not. It's not easy. I mean, like I always want to know why people dislike me because I'm different. I'm not like everybody the fuck else. I'm not. I'm not a mean. I'm not mean at all. Or at all. I'm a good ass dude. I mean, even my homies will tell you how I am. You know what I mean? You know, people think they just judge me for who I am, and they don't even know me. And I don't judge nobody. I don't judge anybody. I have no right to judge any fucking body because I'm not God. If people believe in God, I don't believe. I'm not. I'm not a Christian person. But even I believe in that. But like I said before, I'm off this thing, man. I mean, keep y'all head up, dog. Like I said, the government is never going to change. They're always going to be the same unless we get some new politician that will say, you know what, I'm gonna help the United States in pushing this to get the minimum wage because that bull that wrote 2025 book, he the one that don't want to raise the minimum wage. They even asked him, yo, are you going to raise the minimum wage? He said no. Donald Trump even said he's not. Donald Trump doesn't even care about the minimum wage because he's not even focusing on the minimum wage right now. He's focusing on that fucking tariff shit. And people are waiting for him to come over and see what he's going to do with the minimum wage. But I think he ain't going to do a goddamn thing with the minimum wage. All he's going to do is cut everybody off of shit and thinking that now I could just give everybody $6,000 because the motherfucking economy or the stock market is going to be so fucked up. He's going to have to give money to everybody so we could survive because we're not going to be able to survive if the stock market keep crashing and the economy starts like really actually dissolving and jobs are not out there, then we won't be able to spend money on the economy. He's gonna have to give money to us, like around 6 to 10,000, to make us fucking build the economy back up because he's destroying the economy like crazy. And now he's like, oh, you know, I gotta give money to everybody. I was like, yo, he gonna get $6,000 to everybody. We'll see. But you know what? That's what Donald Trump does. Because when Donald Trump gets in trouble, he starts throwing money at people. Like Elon Musk even started to say, you know what? We need to start giving these people some money, dog. Because these money motherfuckers are making us bankrupt. You know what I mean? And these judges that are out there, I don't care, Republican judges, they are fucking seeing what Donald Trump is doing. And they getting sick and tired of his fucking ass. And Donald Trump is gonna be like, yo, man, I gotta figure out a way to give money to people. Won't you give people $6,000? You know what? That'd be a great idea. I'll give them more than Biden did during the pandemic, even though $12,000 was the only thing that we're going to get because Trump fucked up the trade over there. Now he's thinking that he can woo us by giving us money. Now, if people fall for this shit, which people are going to do anyway, fall for Donald Trump's money, they're going to give us like people need to take that money and start buying land, dog. Don't be spending that money on the economy. Buy land, buy stuff that's going to keep us get us keep us out of being broke. I mean, let's invest the money that we get. You give us $6,000, let's invest that motherfucking money all together. Invest that money. But it's not gonna happen like that because you got people out there going to be like, yeah, boy, got 6 G's. You know what I'm gonna go do with these 6 G's? I'm gonna go sailing. I'm gonna buy me a nice ass car. I'm gonna buy a new cell phone. I'm gonna buy to do this. I'm about to do that. And everybody's gonna be back in the same situation they were when in there was in 2020 when everybody was spending all the money on the unemployment, you know, and the PPP loans and all that kind of stuff. They're gonna do the same motherfucking thing. They're gonna end up back in the same position, broke and homeless. Well, I don't know about you. I'm investing that money. If Donald Trump's giving that money out, give me that money. Let me invest. Let me do something with that money. Let me buy some land. Let me buy some real good land. Not that fuck. I'm not buying no land in the hood. I'm not. I'm not buying no land in the hood. So we got to start investing in something. We got to start doing something. If we don't start doing something, Donald Trump is going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to give all these motherfuckers money and watch what they do with all that motherfucking money that we give them. They're going to end up broke. They're going to end up sitting up there complaining again about they don't got no motherfucking money and they can't find no jobs. Because Donald Trump ain't stupid. But it's coming. It's coming. We'll see. We'll see. It's 2025. We got 5 more years until 2030. So we got a ways to go. If Donald Trump's going to give us the money next year, we'll see. He already been in office for a couple of months now. So it's all about us, man. We stick together or we don't stick together. And I believe a lot of people don't want to stick together because everybody want to be trying to say that they did it on their own. But we need help, dog. Like we can't be sitting up here being on our own doing shit. We need to start helping each other, man. This is why it's called a community. This is why it's called we the people, not we the politicians. So if y'all want to start helping each other, man, let's start helping each other when we get that check. If Donald Trump approves it, you know, because he's gonna make it hard for us to get the check too, because he's gonna make us see if who's gonna be able to get the check. This is a big outbreak of another disease or something like that, or we go to war or something like that. I don't know. I'm cool. Peace out, everybody.